So this is going to be a quick convo, nothing crazy, but just we're going to just talk a little bit about the um, post interview, okay, and about the recruiting process. And I don't know if Tiffany, you could hear me or not, but you look frozen. So if you can hear me, Tiffany, you're frozen. But I appreciate. There you go. You're not frozen, or you're still kind of frozen. So just so we're on the same page of what the interview process looks like. Okay, so the interview process, the onboarding process. This is the flow. So the Apex group interview, when they interview to work with us, they go through an interview. You probably went through the interview. I don't know. And they watch a 7-minute video. We cut the penny for them. They got a chance to learn about the whole company. They see everything. And then at the end, they fill out this final interview questionnaire. After they fill out this final interview questionnaire, they're waiting for a call from us to give them a decision. What we're going to need help with first is we're going to need help with the post interview, giving the decision of whether or not we offer them a position or not. We're taking a large number of applications, and each one of these conversations takes approximately 10 minutes. So if the conversation takes 10 minutes, we can effectively have a conversation with 6 people per hour, 5 to 6 per hour, okay? So if we're having the conversation with 5 to 6 people per hour, let me move all this set up here. I realized my microphone wasn't plugged in, so better audio there. Okay. Sorry, so that you could hear me, right? Yep, cool. So, and you could stay muted or unmute, it doesn't make a difference. But so if we could effectively do 5 to 6 post interviews an hour, if we have a large interview, some of these interviews will have 12, 15, 20 people that we got to go through and decide on whether or not we're going to give them a decision. So our recruiters are just getting a little backed up and it's getting a little bottlenecked, especially for the evening interviews. So this would be the first step to learning not only how to do the post interview, but also the first step in running those interviews. The biggest opportunity that we have in our organization as Vector Marketing, is the building our team, is a team builder, as a recruiter, is by far the most important role, because that's how we continue to add more talent to our organization and continue to develop more pod leaders and to build our sales rapport, to continue our mission. So this is a really important opportunity, it's an important role. And we'd like to give you an opportunity to start learning this. Okay. I think the learning process would probably take, I don't know, it could probably take you, I don't forget about time. The process is going to take for you to role play and learn the script. The process would take for you to watch one of the experienced recruiters, probably Lindsay, my wife, watching her do several of these, watch a recording. I have a recording of mine. You could watch that as well. You could even watch Jessica, or do hers or something like that. So that way you could see the different personalities and seeing the different styles while also following the same script. Okay. The script that I'll pull up is in our bootcamp folder. It's whoops. So let me go ahead and pull up. And of course you would have access to this. And it's really simple. Like when I say simple, you're reading a script, okay? But there is the balance, because these applicants, they are counting on you to not sound scripted, because if you sound like you're reading a script to offer them a job, it could probably not go over very well. Like, you are essentially the authority. So you're no longer just a Cutco rep that's helping out. You are, on this conversation, an authoritative figure doing an interview for them. So, and of course there's boot camps on this you could watch, but it's all laid out for you I'm not going to read the script to you. You could obviously read the script, but you're going to want to watch a few posts, like I said, and you're going to want to role play this with each other. If you want to be considered for the position, how do I know you're good at this? Then you would be sending me a recording of you going through, and you could do it with another person. You could do it with each other. You could ask one of the staff members to do it with you. You could record it. You could use Zoom. You could just be, but I want you on the phone talking to someone, or like you could talk to someone over Zoom. That's fine. I'm just looking to see you get to a point that you don't sound like you're scripted. And this, you might say, well, how is it different than PR calling? It's not really that different than PR calling. The difference is we didn't have to work that hard to get that name and phone number to get them on the phone. But to get them to this post interview, I've already paid callers. We already did the advertising. We already got them in front of a hiring manager, and we already ran the interview. So this is a very close to the end of the funnel before they're in training. So we got to be really good with this conversation. We got to sound good. Okay. So as long as you can send the recording, then I would be the judge to say whether or not you sound authoritative, you sound good, you sound professional, you make the company sound like a place that they want to work at, that you're ready to be in front of an actual candidate. Then I would give you an opportunity to do maybe your first 5. Maybe you do your first 5 with like candidates, with actual candidates, and you do live interviews with them. I would watch maybe your 2nd and 4th one. So you would do 1, 3, and 5 without me, and I watch the 2nd and the 4th one live, or you record those so I can hear and just see how it sounds. And then after 5 are done and we both feel like it's a good fit, then we would put you on some sort of compensation structure to run these. Usually it's, like I said, we usually get about 10, they're about 10 minutes done. So we usually are getting 5 to 6 done in an hour. And if you're good at it, well, we will be paying you $15 an hour to start. And then there's some bonuses for that as well. Okay. Depending on getting them to actually show up for training. So if they actually show up for training, then you really did a good job. Then it's worth a bonus for it. So that's kind of how the compensation structure is set up. And we obviously need some help with this, but we're not desperate to just put anyone in the role. We want to make sure someone's good in this role. So let me go ahead and pause that. And for this role, you will be given a schedule when you'll be working, because the interview times, like for example, if it's a 5:15 interview, we would say, okay, we have this many posts. There'll be a spreadsheet that you would have access to, and it will show you the candidates that are waiting to be posted, is what we call it. And so we'll be waiting for their interview. So you'll have probably about 90 minutes from that time frame. So it's like, okay, the interview's 5:15. So from like 6:15 until like 7:45, boom. All right. Between this 90-minute window, we need these 5 people to get a post interview, something like that. That would probably be the structure of what it's set up as. And for the interview, that's why we're not looking for just anyone to run these interviews. This person in this role needs to have the intuition to know whether or not they're actually making an offer. And that's going to be a little bit of part of intuition, a little bit of part of observation, and just like training and seeing like what we look for in candidates. But, what do we look for in our candidates? I mean, if they got to this part of the interview, what do we want? Are they able to get into, like, do we feel confident? So when I'm making a decision, do I feel confident that they understand the position? Like, do they understand the position? So if they ask me questions like, so do y'all give me leads? They clearly don't understand the position, right? So that means they weren't paying attention in the interview. So it questions on whether or not they're going to pay attention in training, which questions or not, are they going to be able to follow our guidelines and work well with our organization, right? So depending on the conversation, like what questions they might ask, if they say something like, you ask them, why do you feel like you'd be a good fit for the position? And they say, well, I'm not sure I would be a good fit for the position. Well, you got to probably use some intuition there to say, well, are we really going to make an offer to this candidate? Right. So there is a little bit, that's why that practice, that's why I don't want to just bring someone on to start paying them to not do well. Like, that's why I say role playing to learn the material, and then observing. You probably want to observe a few of the recordings and maybe a few live ones, and then I would say probably 5 would be my guess, but it could be less, it could be more, until we feel, okay, now it makes sense to pay you for your time to do this because you're probably good. And then we bring you on as, as one of these individuals to do this. And then once you get really good here, then you'll be able to add even more value where you can run the actual interview. And then once you learn how to run the interview, now you've learned PR calling, you've learned how to coach some reps, you get a chance to learn how to run the interviews, you learn how to do some social media work, you literally know how to run a branch, right? Like, so you're just getting exposed to all the different departments. And then the big opportunity really opens up, which is to run your own business. And then, I mean, those individuals obviously make, some really serious cash. Like Mason, I didn't even know he profited in his pocket over 40 grand this summer. So, like his business made closer to 65. But after paying about his expenses, he was still able to put in over 40 grand in his pocket. So it's pretty awesome. So that's where the big upside opportunity comes from, is during that summer season, but learning a lot of the different roles in the departments, is pretty awesome. And of course, in my office, we pay our staff pretty well during the summer times too. You saw Cassidy, Amanda, and Jess all make, 15 to 30 grand between, depending on what role they were at. So cool. And if you're doing the posting and not running the interviews, you will want to, you'll be added to a group chat that we have called the Apex chat on WhatsApp. So whoever ran the interview will also give a little bit of like insights about each of the applicants. So that way you'll have an idea a little bit, like, was their camera on? Were they paying attention? Because sometimes their camera was off, but their responses on the FIQs, the final interview questions, are pretty solid. So there might have been a tech issue. So we will at least give them the benefit of the doubt to have a conversation with them for the post interview. And like some of that would be noted by whoever ran the interview, the recruiter. So the post interview is only one page. So the post interview is one page, which looks like this. So this is the post, and maybe at 1.5 pages, right? So that's the post interview. The actual interview is about 10 pages. So if you can get good at the first, 1.5 pages, then get good at that, get consistent there, then we'll have the conversation like, hey, do you want to take on the task of the 10-pager to do the group interview? And then we can give you even more hours and more responsibility. So some simple action steps are: number 1, I'll give you access to this, to this slide. So that way you have it. It's this Google Doc. So I'll send you this. And if you're watching the recording of this, then just request it and I'll send it over to you. That way I know you just watched this. This is version 5, so V5, so it updates pretty consistently. Then you would also want to watch the boot camp that is on Vector Live or on YouTube. So on YouTube, I have our boot camp, which is on YouTube. It's on our Game Changer page. So I will also send you that link. So that would be the second action step that you would take. So you go to our Manager Bootcamp videos right here, and under Manager Bootcamp, so you have Apex Post. So the post interview right here. So 22-minute video right here. So you're going to want to watch this 22-minute video. So that way you just understand what that post interview looks like and what the flow looks like and what the spreadsheet looks like. So that's what this 22-minute video is. So you're going to want to watch that video. So I'll send that over to you. You'll want to have the script. And then I know it's just the two of you right now, and it could be the two of you, or I'm going to send this video to a couple other people. So you could ask me who those people are, and you could role play with each other. You could role play with them, role play with a staff member, role play with your dog. But as soon as you feel comfortable, you'll record yourself with another human being. So I want you to actually have a conversation with another human being. It could be your mom, I don't care, but I want to hear how you sound having the conversation with someone. And just so just so I can sense on whether or not you sound robotic or too much like a telemarketer, or like if you sound authoritative, do you sound directive? Do you sound in charge? You know, so that's what we're looking for. As soon as I feel confident that you pass that, then you're going to want to or in that process, you're going to want to watch. So you have that my video, but you can also watch. I have a couple other recordings on YouTube too of me running the posts. So I think I have that in my AM training. I don't know if I have it under. I think I have it under AM training. So there's a few in here, I believe. Let me see here. So maybe not. So these are older. So here's an Apex post interview, but it's a little bit older. So I thought I had some recorded, but I think I have some recorded, but I'll have to update it. If I don't, then we'll get them. We'll get them there so you can watch the video. If not, you could just hop on Zoom and we'll let you watch a few live. And then once you feel ready, boom, we'll give you an opportunity to do the real thing with a few applicants. You do one, mess it up, then you do your second one, I'll watch, or you record it and I'll watch the recording. Do your third one, get a little bit better. Fourth one, I watch. Fifth one, see how you feel. And if you're like, I got this, Mike, pull, we'll put you on a schedule and on payroll. So in closing, what's going to happen is I'll put, once you express interest, I'll send you over the link to the document. So you have the information. I'll put you in a 3-way with Lindsay, and then you could arrange a time with Lindsay for her to be the judge to see how you feel with the script and see if you have any questions a few days from you watching this. So appreciate it.